right, children, you see that I'm dressed funny. I'm going to go to the park today, and I'm not sure what the weather is going to be like, so I have a scarf in case it's windy, and I keep the dust from my face. I have a straw hat in case it's very sunny out. I also have a winter hat to cover up my ears in case it's cold. Now, this is kind of silly that I have to do this. I wonder what I need to do so that I know exactly what to wear. Children, what do you think that I should do to find out about if it's going to be hot and I'll need my sun hat, or if it's going to be cold and I'll need my winter hat, or if it's going to be windy and I need my scarf to block the wind from my face? What do you think I should do? What do you think I should do, everybody? I think you're right. I think I need to listen to the weather report. And the weather report will tell me if it's going to be hot or if it's going to be cold. Now, you know that the weatherman has his own instruments that tell whether the day is going to be rainy or cloudy. Well, clouds we could see. Sun we could see, but you know, it could be sunny and very cold, so you never know. But the easiest way to find out is to look at the temperature. And what do we do when we look at the temperature? We look at the thermometer. The thermometer usually is for two purposes. Who can tell me the other use for the thermometer besides telling me what the weather is like outside, whether it's hot or cold? Yeah, you're right. We could tell our body temperature, whether we have an elevated temperature, which is a fever. And I know some of you boys and girls have been sick this week, and I pray that you'll all be getting better. But we use a thermometer to tell us if our temperature is elevated. Now, elevated means that it goes up beyond the normal stage. Our normal body temperature is 98.6. And if we go up, it means that our body is fighting infection. If it's down, well, maybe that's not so bad, but if it goes down too much, it's also a sign that something is wrong. Now, remember, boys and girls, that when we are sick, we are naturally supposed to take care of ourselves. Okay, so now let's look at what the average is what it's most likely to be in the various times of the year. You know that Florida is an exception. We have summer most of the year, and then we have spring the other part of the year. We have very, very few cold days. We did have some in February, but we still were warmer than most places in the United States in January and February. Now, we have two kinds of thermometers. Remember, we talked about the other day that we have the standard American, which is inches, and we use Fahrenheit. We always use the F, Fahrenheit. Then the other form of measurement is what we call from the metric system, where we have many more numbers than in the standard American. And we call it on the thermometer Celsius. I want to show you the difference. Okay, if you look at the spring, this is spring where the flowers are in bloom. This is about the time of year. In fact, Thursday is going to be the vernal equinox. Equinox means equal, and this is when the sun hits the equator and we have 12 hours of sunlight or daylight and 12 hours of darkness. It's when the earth gets hit by the sun right there on the center called the equator line. All right, so in the spring, here is our Fahrenheit. It's used by, and this little circle here is called degrees. And it's a form of measurement, like inches, centimeters. Degrees is the form of measurement. And we see that when it's about 70 degrees, it goes by tens. 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. Of course, it could go higher, which would mean it's a very, very hot day. All right, so on a spring day, it's 70 degrees Fahrenheit and 20 degrees Celsius, which is kind of funny because if you look over here, you will see that 20 degrees is kind of getting cold, that the weather is changing. All right, so when it's 70 degrees and it's 20 degrees, you might say, oh my goodness, it's 20 degrees, it's going to be very, very cold. No, Celsius is a different form of measuring. So 20 degrees Celsius is 70 degrees, which is a nice, warm, comfortable day. Now we can go into the next part of the year, which probably will be summer. If you look at after the spring comes the summer, and we look at the temperature, oh boy, it's hot. It is 90 degrees Fahrenheit. That's a hot day, a good day to go swimming. But look at the Celsius. You see, it's the same red line, but only in Celsius it's 30 degrees. Now for us, 30 degrees Fahrenheit is below freezing, but in Celsius it's the same as 90 degrees. And they also go by tens. Look at this. This is 0 starts going up and then minus going down, which means it's getting very, very cold. All right, but when you hear 30 degrees Celsius, that is a hot summer day in the metric system. It's the same as our 90. Now let's go to the winter time. You see there's snow on the ground. If you look, it's about 30 degrees, which is freezing. You can put a cup of water outside and it will turn to ice because that is cold. Now look at the Celsius. The Celsius, the same temperature, but it's called 0. And that is freezing in the metric system. So you have to be very careful what you say. Are you talking about our system, Fahrenheit, or are you talking about Celsius? When you do tonight's workbook pages today, 241 to 242, you will be looking at both thermometers, which will help you see the difference between Celsius and Fahrenheit. So make sure that when you finish listening to me, you will work on workbook pages 241 and 242 for math. It's a review of the thermometer, Celsius and Fahrenheit, as well as subtraction, where you have to cross out to subtract. And this can be done with your parents, or you most likely can do it on your own. Be very careful with the subtraction. Make sure you cross out the exact number that is listed, and I will show you exactly what I mean. For example, if you have 5, take away 2, so you have 5 beans, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You have 5 beans, you cross out 2. How many do you have left? 1, 2, 3. Okay, that is your subtraction. This is basically review.